Welcome to the iKnowBadeaux podcast.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the iKnowBadeaux podcast, coming at ya from the local 218 studios. I'm here with my brother.
I ate absolute shit.
We're still going to sit you down one of these days and just have you say, like, I want to do like what the computer does when it's trying to learn your, like, how to be you, how to like say things as you. What do you even call that? AI, but what do you call that specifically?
Machine learning.
Machine learning, yeah. We want to do that with you so that we just get a bunch of nonsense we can have you say. Anyways, over to the Councilman Gabe Johnson. How are you, good sir?
Dave, I am awesome. I love the new intro. It is a mint.
You are assuming a lot. And that, by a lot, I mean that it's done. We'll see what happens.
I'm going to love it every week until it's done.
You been up to anything?
Just got done with a marathon of a Halloween.
Yeah, what was that all about?
With a Monday Halloween, you have your Friday night events,
Yep.
you have your Saturday events, you have your Sunday, then you have actual Halloween. It's too much, people.
Yeah, it was a lot. And actually, I was really surprised. So Brainerd, which, you know, again, Councilman Gabe Johnson, Mayor of Brainerd myself, we are a city that has kind of become known for Halloween now. Specifically, our North Brainerd neighborhood goes all out, and there are thousands of kids that flood the streets. Nice grid systems, so you just go up and down each block. I think our mom said, what did she go through this year again? It was 1,000 pieces of candy, or something along those lines.
I think it's just shy of that.
Yeah,
We got the last couple pieces from somebody who was at 800 at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, so at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they all run out, but you also got to remember it's a 14 by 14 grid, you know. So it's not just like, oh, they hit these 6 houses. No, it's like 14 by 14 grid of houses, and it just gets flooded. But anyways, like, just crazy that how busy it is, and I assumed that because there was, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of trunk or treat, which people get into now, or just Halloween events, that actual Halloween would be less, and not even remotely the case.
Amazing weather. So,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
you know, we will go out there. We'll hit the Gregory Square, North Brainerd neighborhood, even if it's snowing 30 inches, right?
Yep.
We do it no matter what. Last night, it was beautiful weather. So there was a bunch of other assholes who wouldn't have normally been there getting in my way.
I was
Hogging all the candy.
Yeah, I was hanging out in a sweatshirt. But yeah, just phenomenal. I love the decorations that people get into. That would be cool. It would be really fun to do up Halloween like that. But there's kind of this row of houses. It's called Bluff, which, if you can imagine, is on a bluff.
Yeah. Bluff Avenue is on a river bluff.
It was on a river bluff. Very nice houses, and they go all out. Our buddy Kevin Yeager, who should be on the podcast here next month, I believe, he's one of those houses that just goes all out, and it's a good time.
He broke my 6-year-old last night. He was done trick-or-treating for like 20 minutes after hitting that house.
That's hilarious.
Why?
Because
Well, he has like the graveyard set up and kids in the yard jumping up at you, and then he has speakers in the trees and people screaming.
Actually screaming. It was not. It was not like the Wilhelm scream. Just like a pretty blood curdling. Like Kevin, just like either turn it down just a notch or like go a little more cartoony with it. I think it's hilarious because my kids are super young, so they're what are they, 4 and 3 now. And right away, you know, we're doing the up and down the block, and mine points out those houses and like, we're going to the smokehouse because they all have smoke coming out of them. And he loved it. And all those houses have a pretty spooky vibe going on. So,
Well, your youngest picked the scariest costume he could find, didn't he?
Well, yeah, he went with a skeleton but it was mainly because it glowed in the dark. Like that was the big thing. And he was very upset when we started that it was not glowing yet. And it's like, well, yeah, it's 7 o'clock, dude.
So I don't.
take it easy for a minute. Yeah, but other than that, had anything going on? Just had a good time.
That's it. It was a great Halloween season. Glad it's over.
Yeah, the long haul.
It was a whole season instead of a day. It was a season this year.
You got to know though that you put it on Tuesday next year, I'm assuming, and that's just giving you a 1 day break. That's all you're getting out of that because you're still going to be going on Saturday, Sunday. There's no way you're not.
At least I get to take a deep breath on Monday.
Yeah.
And then get back into it.
Stay home and have a drink.
Yeah, 3-4 days in a row. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Well, yeah. So we get out and we walked. So we walked to Franklin, which is an old school building, which irritates me every time I'm in there because it's a gorgeous school building. The school district decided, nope, can't use
Still
this
should
anymore.
be, yeah.
Should still be a school. They moved the school out to the middle of nowhere. But it's now a bunch of artists that are in there. So they have an event that is handicap accessible, but it's really good for young kids because you can just go from door to door to door and then down the hallways and walk all the way through there. So we started with that and then made our way into the neighborhood. Just fantastic. Great weather, great environment. Most people, are very pleasant. Yeah, I got flicked off by one lady on the way home. Yeah, she was sitting at a stop sign and no blinker or anything. And then I was sitting straight, looking her in the eye at my stop sign. And then I waited and then just started to go. And she decided to cut out in front of me. And then and I'm going to say it, her fat friend in the seat freaking puts her fat finger in my face. I was like, you know what, lady? Why don't you take your shitty freaking van back to wherever you came from? Because it ain't here.
Few things make me more upset than people not understanding how stop signs work.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
It drives me absolutely bonkers.
Unbelievable.
Even just on my way over here today, the first block that I come to, the stop sign, car pulls up, and I am 10 yards away.
Nope.
And they wait for me
Yep.
to walk. So now I gotta maybe get a
Hustle
little
up a little
hitch in my step so I can get it. You had 7 seconds
Yep.
to just pull forward. You could have pulled forward at...
I can walk behind you.
Right, exactly. Just...
You got to start waving them. You got to start waving them before you even get to the intersection.
Yeah, no, just keep going.
Just keep going.
Yes, you
You're
have
nowhere
so
near me.
much time. Oh, God. It makes me so uncomfortable.
Saturday, I had at a four-way stop, I had a Mike Myers costume, slow walking it. And he waved the car in front of me, and then I stopped, and he waved me, and then he just kind of stared as we were driving by, and I had the two kids with me. They lost sleep that night.
That sounds like something I would do. I was doing that sort of shit last year. Big old clown mask and a snowsuit.
Oh, God. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Did you enjoy the holiday, Scott?
I did. I worked the entire thing.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah, got to hand out some candy, see some kids, whatever. I'm becoming incredibly antisocial, especially at the end of the night.
Yeah.
You're
just ready to be
After
done.
10 hours.
Yeah, I'm there from 9 in the morning till 10, 11 at night.
And with a smile on your face the whole time.
Oh,
because
of
you
course,
have to.
of course.
Yeah.
Well,
Which is exhausting.
And because that's just who I am.
But it is exhausting.
When I'm there, great. When I'm
Yep.
done,
Yes.
I'm done. I close up and I'm done.
Yep.
I'm going home. And I walk home. It's only like 8 blocks.
Yep.
So I took Saturday night, I got a block closer to downtown and realized that, it's Saturday night downtown.
Yeah.
And so there's just cars and people everywhere. And I just put my head down and just kept saying to myself, nobody talk to me. Nobody talk to me. And I got over by the co-op and I hear Scotty. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Now I got to talk to Morticia Adams.
No, you just put your hand up to your ear with nothing in it and then just put one finger up. Just a second, and then just keep walking.
So, aside from that last moment, it was a good time.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Callie was getting irritated with me because every 5 feet I was getting stopped and talking to somebody. And then finally the last one, I think it was Matt Fargo and Nikki Fargo, who come up on the podcast a lot now. We actually bring them up a lot. But
They're local celebrities at this point.
For sure. We ran into them and I said, it was really good seeing you guys, but Callie is now a block and a half away because that was my cue that you've stopped and talked to everyone, Dave.
She just refused to stop anymore.
She was not stopping anymore. She's like, we're moving on. And I just looked at him politely and said, all right, you guys are like number 6, so good to see you. See you later. Yeah, a lot of fun. I really enjoy Halloween in Braiderd. We put the Rapunzel braid up on the water tower. It's still up. I haven't taken it back down yet. That's becoming my new favorite tradition.
When are we getting the dragon tail?
So the reason why we didn't get a dragon tail is that I committed to making a murder mystery event for 35 fucking people, which ended up being 88 pages long because I had to make various things for all the characters.
And if you hang that from the water tower, nobody would see it.
No, nobody would see that. So, well, maybe you could do the thing with the old printer paper with like 88 pages.
Yeah.
88 pages. What is that? That's 11 inches. That's like 80 feet. The water tower is 100 feet to there. Yeah, it's about that. Actually, would be about the same length as the Rapunzel tale.
Yeah, it seems like that was like 5 years ago, Dave. But I attended the murder mystery, and you did a hell of a job. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Doing a murder mystery. On
Did
Saturday
you
night.
write the murder mystery?
Yeah. So
From scratch?
Yeah. So we have
Really?
we have a buddy that does a Halloween party. This is like the 3rd annual one, and they last year had a tarot card reader. They had a non-demonic tarot card reader. She was very spiritual, so it was all very positive, which was cool. It was an interesting thing, and
It's better than the negative.
yeah, it's better than the negative. It's like, you will. But anyway, so this guy and his wife said, what should we do this year? And I said, honestly, I would love to do a murder mystery if you guys would ever want to do that. And so they just said, yeah, go at it. And I spent a lot of money making a overly complicated murder mystery because we knew there was going to be about 30 people. So I wrote 31 characters.
Jesus Christ.
Well, yeah, and each one, the way I set it up was you open up an envelope and here's your basic character, and obviously the main characters. There is 7 prime suspects, about 5 also big suspects.
Jesse Bates.
Yeah, and then there were a bunch of characters that just got less and less and less because we had the idea that some people aren't going to want to be as invested, and so we'll just give them that card. Well, by the time we got going, everyone wanted to do it, so some people just kind of got less to do. But you read the card, and then it says, like, during this, the big thing that I did, and this was I've attended these murder things, and we had one out at the NP Event Center, and when it got done, the guy standing next to somebody said, well, it couldn't have been you. You couldn't have been the murder because you were standing next to me when the murder happened. And I was like, okay, that's the one thing I want to avoid. So what I actually did was I divided everybody into 3 groups. We went in and started doing like an escape room. And then during that escape room, I had 2 people from each group that were told you need to leave the room and go to a specific area. So somebody would go to the bathroom, somebody would go to the garage. And
I was oblivious to all of it.
nobody noticed. It was amazing. Like each room had about 10 people in it, and 2 of the 10 people left the room, and nobody knew that happened. And so as we went, you were supposed to kind of figure out that those people disappeared. There were so many people that it was like absolute chaos. It was a little out of control. But by the end, I think at the very end of it, there was like 3 rounds, and I wanted people to get down to 3 characters. What do you think it's, of all the characters, 31 people, I wanted you to get down to the 3 main suspects, and everyone did. It was amazing. And actually at the end, I think the majority thought it was the one person. So
Yeah, and my character was totally banging the character who committed the murder.
committing the murder. Yeah, the one character Gabe said, Jesse Bates. So I built something into
He
it.
likes
where,
smoking cigarettes, by
yeah,
the way.
his whole character was just that he likes smoking cigarettes. So he was just supposed to tell people he really likes smoking cigarettes. And I had bought these fake cigarettes for 6 people. That was a way of like whittling it down. Mm-hmm. And so he just kept yelling, I just want everyone to know I really like smoking cigarettes. And finally he comes up to me and he goes, people are getting mad at me because I keep saying that, but my card just says, just keep saying.
Make sure people know you like smoking cigarettes.
And by the end, it was a hit because I was like, just stick with the joke. Stick with the joke. It will
And the body
hit.
was found by a pile of cigarette
The
butts.
body was found by a pile
My.
of cigarette butts. Yeah, so it was good. I tied it back, all wrapped it back around. It was a lot of fun. I think everybody really enjoyed it. Chaos. I messed up quite a few things. Forgot to take the wrappers off the fake money that I bought. So they're like,
Yeah, there's this package.
we get done and I'm like putting stuff away and I was like, oh my God, the money's packaged in cellophane. Like it's like, God dang it, Dave. But it was a lot of fun. We had a blast with it. So.
It was excellent.
Yeah. Anyways, the Dragon's Tail. So Rapunzel has been 3-year tradition. We hung a Rapunzel braid from the historic water tower. Now in next year, and it'll be much like the intro, the new intro.
Mint.
Hopefully next year we'll have the Dragon's Tail. I ran out of time because I didn't realize how much work typing because it was 2 pages per character. So 31 characters times 2, and then all the extra stuff I had to write, like the actual. I wrote rules like it's a board game, so
Yeah.
it's a lot of work.
You did more work than actual murder mystery boxes you can buy off the shelf do for their characters, and those are for like 8 characters.
Yeah. I actually, when I did it, the first thing I did was I wrote the rules. I was like, let's write the rules like it's a board game, and so I have all that, and I'm actually thinking about tweaking it and reducing it so you could actually do something with it, and we'll see what happens. I don't know. Maybe now we're in the murder mystery box game. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
After spending as much time as I did on it and typing 88 pages, I need someone to proofread it because I guarantee you that it's all spelt wrong. But yeah, maybe we'll get into that game.
My character, you had one say this and you had quotation marks around it. I was the bartender. And it was like, if what you wanted me to say,
Yep.
what you intended for me to say is, if you want to know more about that,
Yep.
I would love to make you a drink. But what you put in quotes was, if you want to know more than that, you would love to make you a drink.
So yeah, I bet all of them were like that. And I apologize to everyone for that. Yeah, somebody came up to me and said, like, who's the ex-husband? And I was like, oh, there's no ex-husband. And they're like, well, it says on here the ex-husband. And I was like, oh, shit. It's supposed to be the ex-wife's husband. So yeah, I'm sure there was a lot of that. I take no responsibility for it.
It was a lot of fun. It was a blast.
Yeah, by the end, I got it done the day of the actual typing. Like because I didn't realize, I had no idea it was going to take 2 days to type up. It's like, I know everything I want. I've got all the notes. I just didn't realize it was going to take 2 full days of typing to get it done. So anyways, moving on. Don't Tell Scotty. He does the news. We're just going to jump into that quick after we're 16 minutes into this episode.
Yeah, right?
Sorry. You guys have participated in the actual murder mystery.
In local news, mayor forgets to invite his brother to murder mystery event.
I wasn't even ready for that. No. I was like, oh, this is going very similar. Oddly similar.
Well, put that in the notes for next time.
Nicely done.
Anyways, Alaska Airlines flight delayed after 2 pilots have professional disagreement and refuse to fly together.
Hold on to your butts.
Yeah, professional. It was very professional. Oh, so professional.
Could they both see?
Yeah, I don't.
One of them probably couldn't, and that was the argument.
I'm not saying you can't fly the plane. What I'm saying is I'm not going to fly with you.
Alaska flight AS 1080 from Washington to San Francisco was returned to the gate before taking off Monday after the 2 pilots, quote, had a professional disagreement.
Oh, so they were actually on the runway, or at least taxiing.
Yes.
Wow. A professional.
A professional
pilot
disagreement.
What does that mean?
I think we shouldn't crash this.
You know what? I see where you're going with this, but I disagree.
Professional.
Professional.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this or not, but I am a pilot. Based on my profession. Wow. Okay.
Quote, while this situation was unfortunate, in the interest of safety, the pilots did the right thing, the airline said. Both the captain and the first officer were evaluated by management, and it was determined that they remained fit to fly. We swapped crews, and the flight continued to San Francisco.
Wait, hold on now. Okay, so you just...
Hot swap your pilots?
Yeah, just hot... Are there just extra pilots just sitting
They're
around?
paid like $200,000. They shouldn't be just sitting around.
Are you just sitting in the bullpen? Like, oh, get your hat on. It's time to go on.
We need a left-handed pilot.
The airline pulled a pilot from a different delayed flight to replace the pilot who walked off the plane.
Oh, wow. A heated argument.
Professionally.
Pilot that walks off, is he the one to blame, or is the other one the one to blame? Who do you think?
I think the guy who walked off handled it much more professionally than he
Probably.
could have.
Probably.
It could have been a tussle.
I typically would say the person that walked away is usually the person that's handling it better. Just from my own experience, I know when,
As a man who does not walk away.
as a guy that knows, things get really uncomfortable if I stick around. It's time to go.
Yes, passengers who claimed to be on the flight tweeted that part of the more than 2-hour delay was due to a storm they were waiting out on the tarmac while aboard the plane. However, they said the flight was further delayed after the two pilots had an apparent argument and turned the plane around to the gate.
Yeah, 2 hours is a long time to just sit next to somebody that you know, like says something stupid. That's what I'm seeing is like somebody made an off-color joke right at the beginning, and then it was like, Bill, you can't be saying stuff like that. And then just slowly for 2 hours, it became a fight about how you can't say
As they're
that.
sitting there.
Yeah, so they had to turn the plane around.
I will turn this plane around.
They literally had to take it back.
I think so. Airports are fascinating because have you ever watched those videos where people do the air traffic control video games? So there's video games that are just air traffic control. Well, it's basically the whole thing. So there are people that fly the planes, but then there are also people that their role is just to do the actual air traffic control.
I played one.
And it's hilarious because there are people that will just mess with it, but they take it super, super serious, and then slowly put in things to mess with people.
Yeah.
I had no idea how that whole process worked. Like I got the general concept of an airport. Like, okay, you've got your terminal and then your spokes that go out where the planes pull in, right? Your gates. But the actual taxiing and then getting in line, like you're like in a drive-through. Like you just pull into the drive-through lane and you're gonna move your way up in, and then when you get there, you just wait and take off. I had never actually paid enough attention to realize that's how it worked.
Yeah, it has to.
Well, I get that, but I did, you don't really think of, like this is all like, we're going to go this way. Then we're just going to sit in this line. And then we're going to go out to I don't know what I thought was happening.
Did you think it was like just driving a car? Like you just get out on
Yeah, all right,
pilot?
get out there. Take off.
I just figured
to try to
get
his way to the front of the
they
line.
kind of staggered it. And then it's like, all right, it's your turn to go. And you just got out
There's
there.
no staggering. There's always somebody
it's
taking off. and
Always
landing.
taking off. That's the part I didn't catch on to.
There's a video on YouTube I stumbled across recently of a plane that came in and landed without getting clearance to land. Like they just saw an open runway and were just like coming in.
I'll take it.
And you can hear the conversation between the air traffic controller and the pilot.
Was it a professional
Oh
disagreement?
no! Oh no! The guy was like, "Do you realize what you just did?" Like, and the guy flying the plane's like, "Yeah, whatever."
At least I got chicken.
Yeah, kind of.
Wow.
Yeah, like the air traffic controller is rightly quite upset
I can imagine.
that you just come flying into an airport.
So that's what
And
hap-
the guy flying the plane was just like, "Yeah, well, I did it." So
That's what
I made it.
That's what happened before this plane and why they had to turn around. The one
Yeah.
pilot was like totally reasonable. The other one was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. If you fly like that, we are not taking this plane off.
If there's an opening, you take it.
You are now free to move about the country.
Next.
There
Oh,
it
he's
is.
waiting on
There
it.
it
Okay.
is.
Well,
There's always a
that'll be-
next. What's
that'll be
happening?
good for video.
Cue me up. I'm
Yeah.
waiting in line here. I gotta take off.
Okay. Next.
World's dirtiest man dies at 94. Reportedly, not long after his first bath in 60 years.
Yeah. You listen. You got like that's like a protective barrier.
At that point,
Yeah, it's like
How do you get that designation?
the dirtiest man.
Yeah.
Based off of I'm gonna guess this being dirty. That's what I'm assuming.
well, he hadn't bathed in more than 60 years.
Oh my God! What?
60
Doesn't your genitalia just fall
years.
off? No matter what your genitalia is, doesn't it just fall off?
Probably.
Oh my God! Oh my! I'm like honestly like at first I was just thinking, oh, he's just got like a nice thick layer of tar on
I'm
him.
guessing this guy didn't live in Pittsburgh.
Why Pittsburgh?
I don't know.
Like Pittsburgh is like not even high on my
Just
list
like
of cleanse.
well, it's a dirty ass American
Yeah.
city, but I'm guessing he lives somewhere dirtier than
I
that.
apologize to Pittsburgh.
I would have gone with Milwaukee.
Yeah.
He may live in Milwaukee. I don't know.
Iranian, actually. He was known to his community as Uncle Haji.
The dirty one.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to name him Uncle. Like,
Well, so it says here, the man was known to his community as Amu, A-M-O-U, Amu
Okay.
Haji, or Uncle Haji, an Iranian term of endearment for an older person.
Ah.
So,
Just in general? I think when you've got the world, not just dirty, but the world's dirtiest man. I don't think we give him terms of endearment.
Yeah, it wasn't a dirty ass old man.
Yeah, it was
the world's dirtiest.
Yes.
Yes.
He became known as the world's dirtiest man for choosing not to wash himself for 6 decades.
Did he like go into a competition against a guy from Bangladesh or something? I mean, like, how do you get that designation?
I don't know. And there has to be at least a photo comparison, right? Somebody walks up with a photo of the other dude and just holds it next to him. Not quite.
Dave, you should just start calling yourself the world's merriest mayor. It's like, there's no competition for that.
The IRNA also reported that years of not bathing left Haji with skin covered in soot and pus.
Yeah, see,
He was seen in photos smoking multiple cigarettes over the years.
yeah, that sounds about right.
Lived to 94, though.
That's crazy. Oh, it's the pus thing. Okay, so are we talking like the skin cracks?
I'm guessing the pus dries and just stays there.
I suppose, yeah. If you
haven't bathed in 60 years.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was thinking he had like a shell almost, like like
a protective shell. He
yeah,
took the bath and everything was
we took
open to infection.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. You know what it is. So he basically was like the jelly bean. We talked about that around Easter.
Oh, yeah.
Where you just
Properly aged.
You age the jelly beans. The man was aging his skin, and then you decided to throw him in water, which, just like a jelly bean, would wreck the protective barrier.
Apparently, a documentary, The Strange Life of Amu Haji, was made about his life in 2013. So,
and then he lived for another 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I mean, he was already 5 decades in at that point.
Yeah. Why change now?
And then why bathe?
and-
But then why bathe? At 90, why bathe? I don't get what?
It's elder abuse. Somebody made him.
Yeah.
There's no way he would have, with conscious mind. decided to take a
This
bath.
sounds to me like
Maybe
somebody,
it was to die.
Yeah, somebody.
Maybe
yeah.
he just wanted to clean himself, die,
Rid
and
this pus
yeah.
shell that I'm living in.
Man. Okay. That's a decision, though. That's commitment. Because even just
That's a commitment to the bit.
Let's-
I'm going to be the not bathing guy.
because let's go through once you hit a year, right? There's probably still some extra funk that can happen for the next 5 years. But once you hit a decade, it's just compounding on top of it, right? But that first week to month to year, there's got to be a lot within there where someone's like, "Hey, bro, whatever's going on here, we need to take a different route." Because at what point do you just commit that strongly to just completely not bathing?
And then commit so long that everybody's like, "Oh, that's just old uncle. It's smelly. We love it."
Man, he probably didn't even smell anymore. Probably just the stink had nowhere to go.
I bet he smelled.
Yeah,
I bet he
did as well.
smelled.
I bet he did as well. Oh God, I don't want to think about the man's junk, but the first thing that
You've been talking about his balls a lot.
if you don't wash your genitals for six decades, they have to fall off. There's no way they don't. I've just refused to think that your genitals are just hanging around if you're not washing them for 6 decades. All right, continue. Actually, it was super funny. Remember last week when we had Steve on, and he said, "I was catching up on the podcast before I came on, and every time I turned it on, it was just dick." And skip to the next one, dick. So there you go, Steve. We're back to the dicks. This time it's just smelly old man decaying.
Smelliest.
Smelliest. Sorry, not just smelly. The smelliest.
The smelliest junk on earth.
Unbelievable. Next.
So apparently there's a piece of artwork by someone named Piet Mondrian, and it's been displayed upside down for the last 75 years.
That's awesome.
Did you hear about that?
No, but that makes a lot of sense. How do they figure it out?
On the back, it arrowed the side.
Yeah.
Huh? Really?
How did they?
Yeah, it looks like it's just a bunch of lines. It could really go.
Yeah, it's just like a grid pattern.
Oh God, Keith will tell you. There was one time where there was an art show here in town, and someone had a painting called Striation, and I apologize to the artist if you're listening. It was just lines. So they had taken paper and cut it into strips and then glued it onto another surface. So it was just painted strips of paper cut up and then rearranged and put back onto a canvas, and it was just called Striation, and it was $5,000. It did not sell. So when I did my own art show, made a painting called Striation 2 Stri Harder. It also did not sell.
But selling it wasn't the point. No. The work of art was the point.
The work of art was the label next to the painting, Striation 2 Stri Harder. Mine was worth $10,000. No, I don't remember that for sure.
The 1941 picture was first put on display at New York's MoMA in 1945. It is hung at the art collection of the German state of North Rhine, blah, blah, Dusseldorf since 1980.
Oh, my God.
So, wait, hold on. It moved and is still upside down?
Evidently.
Because you said 70 years, did you not?
75 years.
So
has been hanging upside down in various galleries for 75 years.
This is awesome. Art people suck, and I'm an artist.
You gotta put the little wire string. You gotta put it on the other side.
Oh, I don't know, Bob. That sure looks wrong to me.
You are one pathetic loser.
So despite the recent discovery, the work entitled New York City 1 will continue to be displayed the wrong way up to avoid it being damaged. New York City 1 is an adhesive tape version of the similarly named New York City artwork by the same artist.
Try harder.
Adhesive tape. Quote, once I pointed it out to the other curators, we realized it was very obvious. It's very likely the picture is the wrong way around. Someone called Meyer Bieser told The Guardian.
Interesting. How big is it?
I don't know. Looks like 3 by 3 feet.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to
Yard
figure
by
out
yard.
why it would potentially break.
Sure,
but if it's So yeah, you probably don't want to flip that thing over. I'll just put it up on the screen, Scott.
I got it right here.
All right, yeah. Crazy. I love stuff like that because I love abstract art. My art is mainly abstract, but I like to have various different points of reference and stuff to it. And most of it could be put the wrong direction very easily and still look.
I have heard you say before. I think I've heard you question yourself before.
Yeah.
Is that upside down? Is my own artwork upside down? You don't even know.
Well, because sometimes I make it so that it can go either way. And actually, a lot of the style that I do, I'll put, because I got really into doing panels where it'd be like 3 various panels, and I would put them together and then put the lines through, flip them all over, do the lines again, and just create like a base of motion through it. And then from there, it should look good either way. Because my philosophy in art is all about like point of emphasis and movement. Like when you look at the painting, I want your eye to go somewhere specific, and then I just want it to travel around in a general, fluid motion.
I think this one would look pretty fucked upside down.
Yes, there are the one with a wolf is probably weird upside down. It probably looks like a dick, just to be safe. Yeah. Anyways, next.
St. Bede's College students have shown bad judgment after choosing a wife-beater Wednesday dress-up theme that was shut down 24 hours before going ahead, the school says.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
Year 13 students from the boys' school in Christchurch were gearing up to wear white singlets, sometimes referred to as wife-beaters, during a week of themed dress-up days to celebrate their final days of formal classes.
Okay. But they weren't actually beating wives.
Well, but they were dressing up as though they were.
As is, of course, the tradition.
Which, continue. Let's find out. I mean, wife beater isn't actually because you're beating your wife, but it stems...
No, but it's the most convenient shirt to wear if you were to beat your wife.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a uniform, for sure.
You always put something over the top of it. I mean, it's white, though.
Well, yeah.
I'm gonna dress in layers.
Yeah, but she's doing your if you're beating your wife, she's doing your laundry, so you're not concerned about stains.
Okay. Okay. A school spokesperson said the boys had, quote, shown bad judgment, and it wasn't with our approval. It has been shut down. The students have been spoken to, and they know how serious it is. Staff members were initially told the day was a Wacky Wednesday dress-up theme. The change was not authorized by the school.
Sure wacky. Yeah. Only 9 kids, though?
Did I say
I
that?
think he said 9 or 13 students.
No, year 13.
Oh, year 13. Okay. All right. And how did I get-
Not 13
How
students.
did I get 9?
Seniors. Yeah, I don't know.
Weird. All right. Yeah. I mean, do they just not like it because they're called wife beaters?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
That's what I'm getting.
Well, not to be a dick, but you're at I'm assuming a Catholic school. There are worse uniforms you could be wearing.
Yeah, you could go as a priest.
Yes, there are worse things you could be wearing at the Catholic school. I apologize, all Catholics.
I don't.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Next.
Let's
bring it up. Last one.
I had somebody tell me on my way over here that, well, she said she was on the phone with somebody and I was walking by and she just said, Scotty Badeaux is always smiling. He should have been the mayor.
I like it. That's a good campaign slogan.
Smile more than the other one. Smile more than my brother. Unbelievable. That's like losing out to a dog.
Yeah, and you made it sound like I smile at work because I have to. No, I'm just always. I'm just always a joy to be around.
Smiley Scotty.
I'm just saying that in that industry, like you have to be on, and being on is exhausting. Not everybody has to have that experience where you can't come out of the kitchen pissy. That's just not a thing. You have to, like, when you walk out, be prepared that, yes, hyper aware of how you look to other people is a part of your job.
I mean, I'm just never pissy.
No, I understand that.
I don't do that with my staff or with my
In a
whatever the word is.
exiting salutation, I quite often say, "Take it easy, take it easy," right as I'm leaving. And I always say it. I used to say it to Scott, but he would just say, "I always do." Okay.
Yeah,
you do.
Have a great day. I always do. Or don't tell me what to do. I like that one as well.
Yeah.
I used to drop that one all the time when like servers would be leaving. They'd say, "Have a great day," and I'd say, "Don't tell me what to do." And then they'd say, "Fine, I hope you have a bad day," or say, "Fine, have a bad day," and I'd just say it again. Don't tell me what to do. It's a nice, great setup. Gets them every time.
You should be mayor. You should be
Unreal. All right, bring us home.
5th grade teacher arrested after admitting to active kill list of students and staff.
Yeah.
This was a couple weeks ago.
That was.
Students?
Yeah.
And staff.
Yeah, there was. I don't know if it was a full list, like mainly students. I thought it was like there was a student or something on there, but it was mainly staff. I thought. I may be incorrect about that.
I've never made a kill list, but I've had coworkers I didn't like. I've never had like 5th graders that I wanted to kill.
I don't understand the idea of writing it down. Like, are you going to forget? They're people that
right.
the
That
people
you wanna
that you
kill.
want to kill.
Yeah.
They clearly
maybe they
have reason for wanting to kill them, but you're concerned that
You might forget.
God, if I don't write
Well,
this
there's
down,
got to
I'm going
be.
to forget Jimmy.
It's got to be lists in tiers. A kill list, just a maim list.
Sure.
A punch in the mouth list.
If you're making that kind of list, you're spending a lot of time on lists. Okay, all right.
Oh, it's a teacher.
No, let's hear about this though. I want to know more because I didn't look into it enough.
Well, so at approximately 12:45 p.m., a 5th grade student told his or her counselor that their 5th grade teacher made comments to him or her about killing herself, students, and staff at St. Stanislaus School. East Chicago Police Department said in a statement released on social media. The teacher further told the student that she has a list and that he or she was on the bottom of that list.
Oh, so she did have tears.
Yeah. I have a kill list, but don't worry, you're on the bottom of it.
Yeah, you're on the list.
But I am above you, so I won't make it there.
Whoa.
Jeez.
All right.
Jeez. Was this like a disciplinary thing where she's like, look, if you keep it up, you're going to move up the list. But if you behave, I'm going to drop you off this list. That's crazy. Why are so many?
You're on the bottom of my queue. What does that even mean?
Hold on. Better to be on the bottom or better to be on the top? I mean, like, I don't even count. I'm just so low on the way you think about me. You just don't think about me that much.
I've got a kill list, and you're on the bottom of it.
Why are there so many people that are involved in scenarios like this that are just out of their freaking minds?
Because there's a lot of people that are out of their flipping minds.
Typically, murderers out of their minds.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take a hard stance. Murderers, mostly. I'm gonna go mostly.
Some have cause.
Out of their minds. That's crazy. But yeah, and then got caught and they found the list, or just the list was never discovered. Because I would love for them to come home and she still has a landline and it's like on the notebook next to the landline. So like every time she comes home, she pushes the message button to see if she has any messages and then just writes down another name.
During the conversation, the teacher named a specific student on her list, but did not provide the list, authorities confirmed. So this was from a couple weeks ago. They probably got their hands on the list by now. I should have looked into that before I did this.
We'll do a follow-up on this one. The list thing just drives me nuts. It's so far removed from like my comprehension of reality of why do you have a list? I don't get the list.
Because you want to murder children.
Well, I understand. I understand.
But the last one will be little Jimmy.
yeah.
Just on the bottom of the list.
But I'm going to let him know.
Now,
I'm not going to tell Joey.
But is it a handwritten list, or do you think it's like, because you got to be able to like move people up and down the list?
Yeah.
And you don't just be scribbling out and writing new lists.
Yeah, that's true.
She's probably got fridge magnets at home.
Yeah, like the NPR fridge magnets.
Based on how the day went, she just ships them around. You know what? It was a good day for Jimmy. I'm going to give him slot 5 today.
Good way to meditate at the end of the day.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's really not. Wow. Oh, man. Well, let's say this. At least nothing happened. Thank God that she actually told the one kid that he was so low on the totem pole. But my God, dude. I wish we could get to a point where people like that could find a little bit of help sooner than getting to a list. I mean, because you definitely stewed on that for a while if you got to the list.
Yeah. So. Maybe that's just a list maker.
Type A.
Yeah. Got to pick up my groceries, what I have to do around the house, which kid I'm going to kill first.
You're right, though, Dave. It's good that it didn't actually get to actual violence.
Yeah. We don't condone.
That way we get to joke about it.
Yeah. Right now it's acceptable to joke about it. If something had happened, then we'll probably still joke about it because we've proved that there aren't very many barriers that we're willing to go past. But
dead kids is a barrier.
We would feel bad about it. We would feel bad about it. No, dead kids is definitely a barrier, and we should not be joking about it. But at the same time, the list is ridiculous. I'm just going to stick to that premise. I'm laughing about the list. All right, is that the last one?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we should just end this episode. So next week, you actually are going to hear a continuation of this podcast because I'm going to Florida with the fiance. So we're basically going to record 2 back-to-back. So, you guys can sit tight and a week later continue on this wonderful conversation. But thank you to the Boutros.
Yes.
Thank you to the councilman.
Thank you, Dave. Always fun.
That's right. And hopefully you guys are out there not having arguments about who can fly the plane, hopefully not making lists. But I think most importantly, just bathing your testicles. I think that's, if we've learned one thing today.
Keep them clean.
Yeah. Or don't. If you're not going to, just
continue not doing it, or you will die.
60 years. Yeah, 60 years, and then you'll die. And with that, we're done.
In local news, mayor forgets to invite his brother to a murder mystery event.
I wasn't even ready for that. No. Oh, this is going very similar. Oddly similar.
Well, put that in the notes for next time.
Nicely done.